This is what I do every 4th of July for singing time. I usually have this up on the board. I just take colored chalk and I draw a flag, and then these are laminated fireworks that I write the songs on the back of. And then I just have a line from the Book of Mormon stories because I couldn't really find a scripture of what I wanted. But they can just read that. I don't call it out or anything. Now for this, for my Independence Day singing time, I do different songs for junior primary than senior primary. And the main reason is because senior primary can read, and so I like to do more patriotic songs that we don't sing very often, but not too far-fetched. So let me just go through the ones that I chose for this year. So this is junior primary. For junior primary, this one was Think a Sacred Song, and that's just one that we're working on for the primary program. So if there's just a song you're working on for the primary program that we worked on last week, we do that. And we just did our little beat thing that we did to teach that song from last week. And then in here, oh, and I pick sticks I pick a child to come pick a firework, and then they pick which one, and then it tells us which song. If you have a certain order that you want to sing the songs in, then you just have them come pick a firework and then say, oh, it's this song. But for this one, I was okay just having the songs be totally random, and so I did write them on the back with, you can write them on the back with Sharpie, and then they don't get smudged. But if you use 90% alcohol, it'll erase them, so you can change them from year to year. So here, if you notice, I wrote purity, courage, and perseverance. And those are the words that represent the colors of the flag. White for purity, red for courage, blue for perseverance. And so for this one, if a child chose this, I say, oh, you got my song that I chose for courage. So the red represents courage, and we need to have courage to stand up for what we believe in. And there was a certain prophet who had a lot of courage when God asked him to do something that he had never done before. And he was courageous, and he did it anyway. And that was Nephi. And so we're going to sing the second verse of Nephi's courage, because that's when he was commanded to build a boat. That was something he didn't know how to do, but he had courage. And I follow the actions. I have another video. If you go to my video of Nephi's courage, second verse, I just did those actions. Even though we haven't sung it in a long time, I think we did it last week, but months and years before, I just do the actions, and they're really good at following my hands. For this one, we did head, shoulders, knees, and toes. But to add some variety, if your primary needs variety, I've been doing, we did like head, shoulders, knees, and clap, knees, and clap, knees, and clap. Or today I did head, clap, knees, and jump, knees, and jump, knees, and jump. And then I asked for one more move, and someone said spin. And so we did head, clap, knees, and jump, knees, and jump, knees, and jump, head, clap, knees, and jump. And then I said spin, 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 and we spinned at the end. So add some variety, but still a fun wiggle song. That was this one. And I attach these just with magnets. I have those little ad magnets that I just cut and tape to the back. This was Nephi's Courage, verse 1. And this was for perseverance. So perseverance is not giving up, to keep going even when something is hard. And so I said, when Nephi went to get the plates, which is what this verse talks about, how many times did he have to go get them? And they offer some funny answers. And I said he had to go back 3 times. He persevered. He knew that God would prepare a way, but he was willing to persevere and keep doing it. And so we sing Nephi's Courage, verse 1. Again, I do the hand motions that is in one of my other videos. If you search Nephi's Courage, verse 1, that's what I did. For this one, we did Follow the Prophet, because that is one, again, of our program songs that we haven't done in a while. And because we haven't sang it in a while, I always post the words for the teachers, if I can do it. I try to transition very quickly. And I just tape paper together on the back. If you take just plain library copy paper and tape the back right on the seam, and then I just put magnets from like a doctor's ad or something, like those free magnets you get. I just cut them up and tape them to the back so I can just put it on the board really easily, or just use magnets. But we did the verse about Joseph, and I have some hand motions for that, again, in another video, if you want to see those. And then for this one, notice I taped some of the fireworks together because otherwise there's too many songs. For Junior, I did I Am a Child of God, and every time we sing the word me, we clap. So lead me, guide me. So that adds a little bit of variety. And then for this one, this is the song for purity. When I think about purity, I think about the color white, and just when I think about that, I think about the temple. And when I think of a primary song about the temple, I love to see the temple. So for Junior, we sang the first verse of I Love to See the Temple. And I think for this one, we swayed back and forth, kind of like a penguin. So it's, I love to see the temple, I'm going there someday. And just add some movement. And then I think I added some arm movements because I have a lot of sunbeams and they need a lot of direction. So I love to see the temple, I'm going there someday. And at the very end of the song, I think there's a fermata, and so that's kind of fun. Where's it? For the child's only goes, as a child of God, I've learned this truth. And we say, hold it, and then we go back. And then our last one was Book of Mormon Stories, the second verse. And again, I wrote up the lyrics because we don't sing this very often. And for the older kids, if you have some that could answer this question, I might say, why did I pick this song? What does this have to do with our Independence Day? And Lamanites met others who were seeking liberty, and the land soon welcomed all who wanted to be free. That's a key word. Free to choose how they worship. And that is so important to us, that we can worship how or what we may, and that we give others the freedom to do so too. And the hand motions I did for this was Lamanites met others who were seeking liberty, and the land soon welcomed all who wanted to be free. Book of Mormon stories say that we must brothers be, given this land if we live righteously. So that was for Junior. And then for Senior, I put them all up again in between. And for Senior, I write the song just in a different color. So if you see, Senior did black, and then I just make a note for the other one. So for Senior, we did the 11th Article of Faith. And for them, I already have these posters made. But you could also do poster board with lyrics. They need some stronger magnets to go up on the board, but I already had these made, so I used these. But I actually kind of prefer the paper folded up, because you could put that in a filing cabinet, you could put that in a folder in your bag. It's not just so big and bulky, but it works. So we have the 11th Article of Faith, and we talked about, why did I pick this for this special week? And we talked about the freedom of religion and letting us worship how, where, or what they may. And I point out, this is the word conscience. But if you're spelling it, you say conscience. I did Book of Mormon Stories, the second verse, again. Because in Senior, we can read. I love to see the temple again, but I think I did the second verse for Senior Primary. We did the 12th Article of Faith. And I said, listen for a word about our country. Again, why did I pick this? And usually someone will point out the word president. Yeah, we believe in being subject to a president. And part of our government is obeying the law. That we have laws of the land that we believe in obeying. This one we sang America the Beautiful. For Perseverance for senior primary, I chose I'm trying to be like Jesus. When I think of something I can't give up on, something that brings me closer to Christ, that I don't want to give up on, that I want to persevere, I think of Christ and trying to be like him. So we sing that. Again, we haven't sang it in a while, so I just post the lyrics. Oh, and I did notice they did really well on the first verse. I guess maybe in the past they've sung it with a previous music leader, but on the second verse I could kind of tell they were getting a little bored. Usually I have a lot of movement in my singing times. This one was a lot more just, I guess, less movement, more just straight singing, slightly unfamiliar songs. And so I switched it up. I could see that with the kids. And so for the second verse, I said, for our second verse, I want you to stand up and we are going to conduct it in 3/4. And to conduct in 3/4, you go down, out, up, down, out, up. And so during the second verse, I would say, I'm trying to be like Jesus. And I tell them, no matter what hand you use, it's down, out, up. And we just conducted it, and the kids who wanted to follow along got some practice conducting. For senior primary, again, for Courage, we did Nephi's Courage, the second verse, with my hand motions from the other video. And for this one, we've been talking about the freedom to choose, having the freedom to do, do we want to do whatever we want? Do we have the freedom to do whatever we want? And at first the kids were like, yeah. And I had one little boy's like, the freedom to fly like a bird. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad you bring that up because, yeah, I guess we can't do everything we want, or maybe we don't want the consequences of everything we want. So the point of having the freedom to choose is to choose the right, because God has given us laws and commandments that if we follow as a society, it makes for a happy society and a blessed country, which we talked about. Given this land, if we live righteously, God has showed us how to have a prosperous society, and it's following his commandments and becoming like him. And so our last one was choose the right. And so this is the hymn. I have the lyrics of Choose the Right from the hymn book. And at the end, I think this is our last song, and I just did a one-sentence testimony of when we choose to follow God, we are blessed. And I thank them for singing with me. And the last thing I want to say is these are printable. I got them from a different music leader years ago. I think since she has taken down her images, but I believe I still have them on file, and I can email them to you if you're interested in that, if you leave a good email address in the comments. If you're worried about sending your email address, you could even just write a comment, and then I can text back or comment back, and we can arrange if you want these as a printable.